I'm very pleased to say I'm being joined at TU-Automotive Detroit 2015 by Managing Director of WirelessCar, Martin Rosell. How are you doing today?
Very good, Garrett. Thank you.
Excellent. So, well, let's not mess around. Let's jump straight in with it. What are you seeing out there right now as the key challenge facing the connected car industry?
Well, it's the same challenge as we've had in the industry for the last 20 years, or I can speak for 15 of them since WirelessCar is actually celebrating 15 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And we also have the customer that we acquired that year in our boat with the brand new XC90. So I think they are a good referral to many of the examples we talk about today.
Nice.
But coming back to the problem, it's really to increase the number of connected cars. I mean, to be honest, today we have figures are dealt with in the industry, but honestly, OEM connected cars are roughly 25 million.
Okay.
We have 1 billion cars or vehicles on the planet. You can do the math yourself. It's 2.5%.
Yeah.
So that's the underlying problem. And why? Yeah, because the big value of telematics or connected cars really comes from dig into the product, increase the experience of the product, and do it through the entire life cycle of the product, tied together with the consumer and the experience of it. And this is not only technology, because we can do the technology. We've proven this for many years now, but it's more about changing the processes and changing behavior.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of effort, both in money and time.
And are we talking about changing the behaviour of the consumer or of the OEM and the kind of automotive industry itself reacting to this connectivity?
Well, it's an ecosystem, so you can't really pick out one or another and separate them. But I've pitched this example a number of times. Your car breaks down, or you have a problem with the car, or even if you just need to go for a service, it's nothing magic about that. It's predicted by mileage, and it has nothing to do with the status of the car. I mean, the only thing you know when that red lamp goes off with a tool on is that you don't need service. You need it either before or after. So why don't we take that information, which we can harvest from the product, put it into a process that goes from static to dynamic, more predictive analysis, and that's changing the experience of the product itself. I think that's the key. But doing that is not only technology, it's changing the whole behavior of the OEM itself. We're going from the traditional, I'm making a car as a product, to, okay, I'm part of the digital revolution, which is something completely different.
Yeah, and they're not renowned for being fast-moving companies, OEMs. So being out there, being a telematic service provider, when you go in and have that meeting with the OEM, how are you going about trying to change these perceptions and get them on board with this concept of connectivity, which is quite alien to some of them, really?
It is. I mean, we see big change in the industry, and I think overall it gets better and better, and you get people who understand up higher in the management teams of the OEMs. And Volvo Cars is a good example. I mean, Claes Bendrick, who is here giving a keynote tomorrow, was actually elevated from having reported to a CFO, now reporting to the CEO.
Yeah.
And of course, the work they've done inside Volvo Cars really, constitutes his new position. I think that's a good example.
Yeah.
But most of the companies we're working with, you end up in R&D or in the IT department or in aftermarket, and they sort of trying to run this program from one silo, and it never works.
So is there anything we can do as an industry? We come together at events like this. Is it a matter of working together to change that message to the OEM, or how can we get that example you use of Volvo to be replicated across the other automakers as well?
We need to do it, and we just need to come up with good proof of concepts, good pilots, and good new services that we actually invent and put on the market. But unfortunately, most of the programs that comes out are the traditional services. They're focusing on safety, security. Nothing wrong with that. We have 1.2 million people dying in traffic caused by cars, so we should definitely focus on that. But we need to step in and do small things and prove that it's worth doing it.
Yeah. So on top of those kind of core services that we all understand, whilst knowing they're very important, is there any particular service out there recently or something that's come up that you thought that's particularly innovative, and they're the kind of things that are going to really interest people and the OEMs themselves to adopt these services also?
Well, I've always said there is no killer apps.
Yes.
And in the future, there won't be apps. whatsoever. We will have services, and this is what I think will contribute most to what we're talking about, but still focus on you as a consumer. It's taking the services and make them smarter. And what does it mean? That's a good example. When I start my heater on the car, okay, it's an app. I need to go in there, I need to push the bottom and start it. It takes 20-30 minutes to heat up the car, at least in Sweden, where we have minus 20 or whatever. Or I set a timer. But it's depending on my brain to remember to do it. And you know, in the system, we know how cold it is. We know if the car needs heating. We have my calendar for the day. So at least turn it around to be a push message to me. Martin, do you want to start the heater? Because I think you will use it. That's a small change. But now we're talking about contextualizing, personalizing the services, and we have to go there. And that's what we see. That's what we start doing with some of the OEMs right now. I think that's going to be a big change to the consumer experience.
Sure.
But that's technology again, with a little bit of integration. So we really need to go in to change the core processes and harvest the business opportunity for the OEM itself.
Yeah, sure. And apart from what we've just been talking about, I guess as a closing question, there's a lot of things going on at this event. Things are moving faster than they ever have. So many new ideas, so many new companies come into the space. What's really exciting you right now?
What's most exciting is all the speeches around the autonomous cars. And to be honest with you, I mean, there are so many problems with that to really have a 100% autonomous environment. I love the vision, but I don't care if I see it before I die or not, because every step we're doing now is making a huge impact to safety and security. So for example, today my car detects a pedestrian that just walks straight out, and it will brake automatically. It will tell me if I'm passing a line without control. So these small steps will save lives. It will limit, the accidents. And you heard Taylor today about the almost $1 trillion going into just, the repair and all the costs for the society. And we can limit step by step. I think that's huge.
Sure. And as a TSP, in this autonomous future, what role as a company do you see yourself playing as this plays out over the years?
It's a combination of in-car technology, car-to-car technology, and car to the infrastructure technology. We are a back-end platform provider. We will never be in the car or between the cars, but we sit on a lot of information around, weather conditions, road conditions, things that are known or real-time known that we can fuel into these decisions. I mean, we will never be the service provider that breaks the car because someone jumps out of the car in front of the car. But there are so many other things around this, and everything needs to be well integrated. It's a coordinated play in the car, between cars and between the infrastructure. So we have our play out here.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you.